Peace, family. Welcome to African Esquire TV. I'm your host, Tony Cherie. Please like, comment, and subscribe. But in addition, please also add yourself to my Telegram group where I will post different things, different updates about the channel. In addition, I ask that you please add yourself to my Odyssey group. Odyssey is a decentralized platform, unlike YouTube, and so you don't have to worry about censorship and things like that. So if you have not heard, some interesting developments are coming out of Burkina Faso. The murderer of Thomas Sankara, President Compaoré, our former president of Burkina Faso, he is said to stand trial for the murder of Thomas Sankara. Now, if you happen to not know who Thomas Sankara is, and y'all probably like, who doesn't know that? You'd be surprised. A lot of people may not have heard of him. I'm just going to post this brief little clip so that you can have an idea of who this amazing person was.
Notre pays produit suffisamment de quoi nous nourrir. Nous pouvons dépasser même notre production, malheureusement. Par manque d'organisation, nous sommes encore obligés de tendre la main pour demander des aides alimentaires. Ces aides alimentaires qui nous bloquent, qui nous inspirent, qui installent dans nos esprits cette habitude, ces réflexes de mendiants, d'assister.
Upper Volta, 1983. Thomas Sankara is brought to power by a coup supported by one of the poorest peoples on our planet. Behind a military uniform and a Marxist discourse, Africa discovers a young and dynamic leader ready to put his innovative ideas at the service of his fellow citizens. Thomas Sankara gives a new name to his country, Burkina Faso, which means the land of upright men.
Il y en a qui demandent mais où se trouve l'impérialisme? L'impérialisme, regardez dans vos assiettes quand vous mangez les grains de riz, de maïs, de mil importés. C'est ça l'impérialisme. N'allez pas plus loin.
Little by little, Sankara takes his country out of misery, achieves food self-sufficiency, but clashes with the French who want to keep control over their former colonies. Above all, they want to avoid by all means that Sankara's ideas spread throughout the region.
La France ne comprend pas l'Afrique. Et il est grand temps qu'elle la comprenne.
Qui ici ne souhaite pas que la dette soit purement et simplement effacée? Celui qui ne le souhaite pas, il peut sortir, prendre son avion et aller tout de suite à la Banque mondiale, payer. Tous nous souhaitons.
Thomas Sankara is attacked by those in the north as well as in the south who benefit from Africa's underdevelopment. His closest collaborator, Blaise Compaoré, with the support of foreign powers, will betray him. Killed for his ideas, Thomas Sankara has become the African Che in the eyes of African youth today.
Pour le grand combat patriotique, pour l'avenir radieux de notre pays, la patrie ou la mort, nous vaincrons.
So now a Burkina Faso court is charging President Blaise Compaoré, a former president, in absentia on Tuesday in connection with the 1987 murder of then President Thomas Sankara, one of the most infamous killings in Africa's post-independence history. Sankara, a charismatic Marxist revolutionary who was called Africa's Che Guevara, was assassinated during a coup by his former friend. And that's the thing that always pissed me off about that situation all the time this man was in power, is that this was his friend. This is what we have to think about when we're talking about having revolutions to free ourselves from imperialism, that a lot of times it's the person who's right next to you, who you think is your comrade, who will betray you. And that's what happened in this situation. Compaoré went on to rule Burkina Faso for 27 years before being ousted in 2014 in an uprising, and he fled to the Ivory Coast, where he's believed to still live. He has previously denied any involvement with Sankara's death, which is funny because he's denied that, but to my recollection, he's made very clear that you were not basically allowed to find the body of Thomas Sankara. They hid the body very well. And it was not till after he left, I think, that they were actually able to give him a proper burial. Burkina Faso issued a warrant to Compaoré in 2015, but Ivory Coast declined to hand him over. So this is kind of more symbolic, honestly. Sankara, who seized power in 1983, coup at the age of 33, was known for his trademark military fatigue and rigged beret and the rejection of a lavish lifestyle. lifestyle. That's it. He actually died basically living like a common person, not rich and enjoying all the imperialist money like your current leaders do today. So what I want to talk about with this is kind of funny. Like, is this good? Yes, it's good that you finally have a clear recognition of what was done to Thomas Sankara. I say clear because these are things that has already been known historically. It's been known that Sankara was one of the conspirators with the assassination of Thomas Sankara. But the issue that I want to highlight is that as many people may love Thomas Sankara who are inside of Burkina Faso, and as many people are celebrating this charge being made against the former president of Burkina Faso, how many people have actually analyzed the policies that Thomas Sankara put in place? To me, the ultimate celebration of his legacy is not necessarily this conviction. It's going to, like I said, probably be more symbolic than anything because Ivory Coast is not trying to hand him over. But actually going back and say, what did Thomas Sankara do that pissed off France so much, that pissed off the West so much that they had to conspire to have this man assassinated? That would be the actual honoring of someone, continuing their ideas, their ideology, making the youth who never heard of him aware of those policies and how they actually had a positive effect for African people. I'm saying this because a lot of times our revolutionary leaders who were not loved in their lifetime, they were not loved, they were not celebrated, but now they become a symbol. Now people love them. Now people want to quote them. Now people want to have their picture on their wall. But how many of those people are you really willing to go back and recreate what they actually tried to set forth, but were stopped from the imperialist power from succeeding? Most people have not even thought to go that far. They just like the way that the person talked. They like some of their quotes. They like what they represent. How many people that love Nkrumah, how many of them are actually going to go back and try to implement scientific socialism? How many people are going to try to go back and try to implement Pan-Africanist unity? And I mean this because you hear a lot of the leaders. You hear the leaders of these countries. They say beautiful things about Nkrumah. They say beautiful things about Julius Nyerere. They say beautiful things about Thomas Sankara. Meanwhile, they're practicing the same neoliberal policies that these same people would have condemned, would have told them that you are selling out the African cause for liberation. So I say this is great in a symbolic sense, but what I would really love to see for the ultimate justice being done to Thomas Sankara is that what Thomas Sankara was doing at the time when he was murdered, please go back, people, and let's find a way to bring that back to life, because that would be the continuing of his legacy, something that I believe that he would really care more about than a symbolic conviction. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm asking for too much, or do you think I'm being reasonable? I love to hear thoughts. I will see you guys in the next video.
A poem for us, the African woman. Beautiful, dark, luxurious, fearless, selfless, power. Through all the words thrown our way, we are the beautiful source, discarded, disrespected, but highly favored and replicated. We are her, she is us, the African woman. Uncompromising, steadfast, and unwavering in love. Innocent, playful, generous, and deserving. We are African women. At home and abroad, we are delicious melanin, splendid carbon. We drink ourselves to death with love and compassion, forgiving and thorough. We are African women. Join us in May for our symposium on Pan-African women.
Family, this is Tierney Cherie. I'm here to make an announcement that I'm very, very excited to make. I'm excited because I really think this is something that is important for our people. Otherwise, I would not have devoted so much time and energy towards it. So I finished my first book, and the book title is Fostering False Identity, the Child Welfare System's Design of Social Control of the Black Family. Now, why is this book something that I think will be very important for our community? Well, number one, it's dealing with the system of white supremacy, particularly the way that the system has targeted our children. If you don't know, our children are literally our future. Without our children, we have no future. And so understand that the system is very crafty when figuring out what to derail first. And to me, it's no mistake that the system particularly went after the Black family. If you look at what happened whenever we were enslaved by this system, and continues to go after the Black family, continues to go after Black children, continues to try to villainize African parents. So for that, I wanted to particularly talk about this subject. Now, the other thing that the book will deal with is our African identities. Why is it that our African identities are a threat to the system? Why is it that whenever we want to identify ourselves as being African, we get so much drawback inside of the Black community? I think a lot of us are not aware of the history of assimilationist thought inside of our community, this idea that we have to be close to white in order to be accepted. And so that's another subject that we delve into in this book. So I'm hoping that anyone who is, obviously, if you're a parent, a Black parent, and you really want to understand why it is that these systems are going after your children, I encourage you to read this book. I hope that it will arm you with a lot of knowledge and a lot of foresight, not just about how to protect your own children, but how to organize in your community, because that's really the purpose of the book, is to say that we have to organize among ourselves in order to protect ourselves from this white supremacist system. And then obviously, if you're an organizer in general, this is something that I think is important for you to read, because like I said, this is a subject in the Black community that we just don't discuss enough. Child welfare is not something that is going to get enough attention. People obviously will organize them around other causes, but this is one that is really important that I feel like we have to pay more attention to.